Brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, it's a great Friday. That's
Yes,
what
it
I
is.
can say. It's a great
It is.
Friday.
It always is.
And, you know, Fridays, laid back, but it's an even better time to be sitting down with my brother, my colleague, just to kind of understand a little bit more about you.
Sure.
But also share that with the people. I mean, that's what's really important, is talking about your journey, sharing what that looks like, and making sure that all of those who aspire to, you know, improve their life, change their life, regardless of starting point, they can understand by learning from your journey, my journey, everyone else's journey, that there's a brighter path
Sure.
out there. So how you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great day. It's a Friday. It's a weekend for us in the Middle East, you know, so I feel great. You know, thanks for the opportunity to share my story. You know, hopefully it's inspiring somebody, you know, so thanks.
Well, I mean, you just stole it from me, man. I was just going to thank you just for your time. I mean, just to be willing to come out, you know what I'm saying, and share your story.
Sure.
That means a lot to me personally, but also I know it means a lot to the Frugal Millionaires, the people that's going to be listening to this. So definitely thank you. You could have been doing a lot of other things
Sure.
on Friday with your time. You could have been traveling. I know you love traveling and enjoying traveling. So, you know, you could have been doing a lot of other things, but definitely I appreciate you taking time to sit down with me. So if you're,
Thank you,
we're going to go ahead and we jump right on into it,
Sure,
man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So Frugal Millionaires family, as we've talked about Millionaire Mondays and really bringing successful people in all industries, be it real estate, be it the corporate world, be it business, whatever it may be, we're bringing everyone to you all. And why we're doing that? So that you all can learn from their successes, learn from their failures, learn from their journey. And today we have a special guest, very special guest. My brother is here, my colleague. I mean, just looking back over the last 8 years, man, we've grown very close. And so this means a lot to be sitting down with you. So I want to go ahead and introduce all of you all, Frugal Millionaire family, my brother, my colleague. Today we got Mr. Emmanuel on the show. And welcome to the show, Emmanuel. How you feel, brother? How you doing?
Thank you, Brieon. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I mean, it's great to share, hopefully, what will be an inspiration to somebody.
Yeah.
Every journey is unique and different.
Absolutely.
So, thanks for the opportunity to share my story.
Well, definitely, man. I'm glad you're here, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And so, you know, if you don't mind, just, you know, for myself, for everybody that's going to be watching this, just kind of take us back to the beginning. Just kind of take us back to where things started at, how things started. How did you get on this journey to becoming, you know, successful? So before all of the success, where did things start at?
Well, so my name is Emmanuel Eloundou. I'm from Cameroon in West Africa. I was born and raised in Cameroon. I'm from a family of 6.
Okay.
So I'm the middle child.
Oh, nice.
So no particular perks.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that I was born on Christmas. You
Okay.
know, so so I'm the third of 6 siblings.
Uh-huh.
I mean, by all measures, a middle-class family, by Cameroonian standards, a middle-class family. I was blessed and privileged to go to really good schools as a kid. Private school. My parents really worked hard to send me to private school, and Catholic private boarding boys school. So a lot of discipline, as a kid, early age. So I was privileged to go to really good schools and developed a really good work ethic as a young man.
Yeah.
My journey to America I moved to America as a teenager.
Okay.
So I grew up in Cameroon, and I moved to America as a teenager. I think I was maybe 16, 17.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I did, primary, secondary, and a year of university in Cameroon before moving over to America and doing my undergraduate education in University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Okay. Alabama.
Yes, Alabama, Birmingham. Where I was on a football soccer scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played football my whole life. Professionally when I was in Cameroon, and as a college athlete. And when I went to Alabama, Birmingham, and then I graduated from Alabama. I'm not going to say the year because I don't want to age myself. And then I went to law school in Kentucky, University of Kentucky.
Okay.
So I graduated
from Alabama to Kentucky.
Yes, I went to University of Kentucky for law school.
Yeah.
So I finished law school, and then I went to Chicago. I worked for Sidley Austin as my first job out of law school. I did that for about 5 years, and then I moved to Houston.
Yeah.
After that. And then
you're moving around quite a bit.
I've lived in a whole lot of different states.
You're moving around quite a bit.
Yes, so for a number of different reasons, but most of my displacements have been for professional reasons.
Reasons, yeah. Absolutely.
So then I went to move to Houston, and while I was in Houston, I worked for a number of different companies. I started off working at Hess. And after Hess, I worked at BG Group.
Yeah.
BG Group was bought over by Shell. So I worked for Shell for a little bit. And then I left Shell and went to PetroChina.
Okay.
And I worked for PetroChina for a little bit. And then I left PetroChina and I got the job to come to Saudi Arabia to work for Saudi Aramco. So I'm currently senior counsel for Saudi Aramco. My specialty, my area of expertise is downstream and supporting our downstream functions, including our refineries, our base oils, our lubricants. So I've been doing that for I've been here in Saudi Arabia and Saudi Aramco for the last 7 years. Love it. It's a good opportunity. I've had a chance to meet a whole bunch of great people and do a lot of travel, like you said.
Absolutely.
And which is one of my passions. So that's my journey in a really nutshell, to get here.
That's a really good summary, and you put a lot into that journey. And so I just want to go back and unpack just a few key points.
Sure.
And so, you mentioned growing up in Cameroon and growing up in Cameroon, going to an all-boys school, going to private school. What was that experience like, and what did you take away from that? I know you mentioned a lot of discipline, but what was that experience like, and what did you take away from that?
So anybody who grew up in Cameroon would tell you that if you're lucky or privileged or fortunate to go to one of the boarding schools, a hallmark of that experience is usually how regimented your life is.
Yes.
Right? So it gives you very strict discipline on when you wake up, when you eat, when you're in class, when you study, when you go to sleep, when you pray, when you go to so that experience from going to a boys' boarding school taught me a number of things. One of the most important of which was just structuring your life, right? Just making sure you have a routine, making sure you have a process,
which is important.
It's super important, because you have to be able to plan your day, right? So that literally was my first exposure to structure, right? So there's a time you have to wake up. There's a time you have to be ready for church. There's a time you have to be ready for class. There's a time you have to be ready for your meals. There's a set time for everything. Right.
So that your day is planned out.
Yes. So that is a discipline. That's a structure that has lived with me from when I was a child, and it accounts for a lot of my successes in life.
Got you. And that's so interesting, because I think when we look at life and where life is now, understanding that you need to have things structured, you need to have a schedule, you need to have discipline in certain areas. I can definitely see that in your life, so I'm sure that carried over. But that's very interesting. So going to, a private boarding school, where did the soccer, where did that come in? And I mean, you play professional soccer. So, tell us a little bit about that.
It's the biggest sport in Africa, as most people know.
Yeah.
So my dad, God rest his soul, great man, was a huge football fan.
Okay.
Right. So he was always involved in football in some capacity. So he was either the president of a club or manager of a team, or in some way or fashion was involved in. If you went to where I grew up and you said his name, people will by default associate him with football. Okay. So as a child, and I grew up with a bunch of brothers. So all we did was, one of the gifts we always had on Christmas was a football. Right. So we would play football literally every day when we were home from school, and my dad really encouraged football.
Nice.
My mom was more of a education, get your education, but my dad was very supportive of football, and actually my first professional contract I signed with my dad.
Wow.
With the team that my dad was owned or managed.
Nice.
So he really encouraged me to play, and I from a very young age, I discovered my football talent. And he nurtured it. He developed it. He promoted it. Yeah. So it was a natural thing for me. I never, and he played a lot when he was younger too. So I think I just inherited it from him. So he encouraged it, and he made sure I played. But even though football was a big part of my life, education was always paramount. My parents were very keen to make sure that we dedicated our full energy and time to education.
Those are two very powerful things. When we talk about education, we talk about sports, and we talk about your journey of born and raised in Cameroon, growing up in Cameroon, then leaving Cameroon to go to America. I just want you to speak to just a little bit about the importance of education, the importance of focusing on that education, and how it was able to propel you during that journey. But also, I understand, and you understand as well, not everybody is into education. So for those who are into sports, you can also speak to that part of the journey, how soccer and how dedicated you were, and how that lifted you, and ultimately land you a college scholarship in the United States. So speak just to the importance of those two areas of your life and how they propelled you during your journey.
I think the key to answer your question, I think the key is to make sure one does not dominate over the other, right? Okay. It's finding a way to merge the two, right? Okay. Because the truth is, you both are careers you could, paths that you could take. You can go either education or you can go professionally to play whatever sport you play. But I think the most important thing is to understand that if you're pursuing one, it shouldn't be at the expense of the other. Right. At least at a young age, until you've made a decision that you want to go one way or the other. Right.
Okay.
So I was fortunate that at the time I was young enough to be able to do both. But for some people, it may be the case that you find out very early on that you should go one way and not the other. Right.
Sure.
So I don't think, I think it should be a decision that you make
Individual decision.
Individual decision,
Yeah.
and based on your particular circumstance,
Yes.
right? So, for me, and for people like me who didn't know from the onset which way to go,
Yeah.
it's important to focus on both,
Yeah.
right? But if you're young and you say you're very talented, footballer, and you want to go, or basketball or whatever, you want to go that path, then you put all your energy into that. But that said, I still think it's important to get at least a basic level of education, right? I mean, because I think regardless of your career path, your career path as an athlete, it's important to have a very basic education, so you can speak well, you can understand your business and how to manage your affairs. So.
Yeah. And that's so important. And I think nowadays, when we talk about the journey of the athlete, or the journey of the sports player, I think when it comes to education, we can't stress it enough, the importance of having that educational foundation, having communication skills, being able to have that foundation so you can understand how to even manage your affairs,
Right.
and the affairs of those that you will have around you or employ while you're an athlete. So it's very important. But now it's very interesting that even that journey taking you to the United States. How was it once you actually made it to the United States from Cameroon? Like, talk a little bit about what challenges you may have had. Like, was there anything that you struggled with? Like, was the food different? I know the culture, the lifestyle was totally different. So
Sure.
just how was that transition from Cameroon to arriving in America? And you were in the South.
Yeah.
You were in Alabama.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a different experience as well.
Yeah.
So speak a little bit to that.
So let's. I think we should go back just a little bit to how I got to go to America. I think that's a good place to start. So I was lucky. I was one of the very, very few lucky people who won the lottery visa.
Okay. Okay.
So I had no plans to go to. I had no plans to go to America.
Gotcha.
I was pursuing my education in Cameroon, playing football, doing all that.
Okay.
I was actually already in law school in Cameroon, actually.
Okay.
So my sister, my older sister, who was already in America, entered my name into a lottery system.
Wow.
And through the lottery system, I was picked to go to America.
Thanks, sis.
Thank you very much, sis. I will be eternally grateful to her.
Yeah.
And it's not like, she didn't even ask my opinion about it.
Yeah.
She just entered my name, and I've always been super, super lucky in my life.
Yeah.
I've considered myself a very blessed and very lucky person. So I was able to be picked to go to America
Nice.
so I showed up to America with a green card.
Wow.
So
That's huge.
yes, which for most people who know, that's a huge step in your journey, because you
Yes.
don't have to worry about your status.
Yes.
You're already good, right? So getting to America, I had a decision to make. So my decision was, okay, somebody is going to pay for me to go to school.
Yeah.
So it's either the military,
Okay.
or
Wow.
I'm gonna get a soccer scholarship. I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of the opportunities that are available to me.
Yes.
So I'm either gonna go to the military, or I'm gonna get a soccer scholarship. Either way, somebody's gonna pay for me to go to school. So naturally, because I was already playing football, I went to a few tryouts. So I went I had a friend who was already at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, who was playing football there. So he invited me to try out.
Yeah.
So literally, I showed up, no shoes, just with like tennis shoes, and
Ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. So I tried out, and lo and behold, I impressed enough to. The coach was impressed by my performance and gave me a scholarship.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up with a soccer scholarship. Now, culturally, as you can imagine, it was a shock.
Yeah,
it was different.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I have a story. I have a very interesting anecdotal story about the first time I tried hash browns.
Hash browns.
You would think something as simple as hash browns is like, of course, it's like you go to McDonald's or whatever, you get hash browns.
You get hash browns.
I literally could not hold down hash browns. That's how foreign it was to my taste buds.
To your taste buds, to your digestive system.
I could not hold down hash browns.
You couldn't keep it down.
I couldn't keep it down.
Wow.
That's how, so just to paint a picture, so you come from a society where everything is all the food you eat, the language you speak is different from where you are now, right? Yeah. So you have to literally start from scratch. You have to really like give up everything you've known for 18, 19 years or whatever it was, right? And then you start a new life, where you now you have you're eating something different. You're speaking in a different way.
Yeah.
You have new friends. You're embracing a new culture. You're in a foreign land with a whole different weather.
Different climate.
Different climate.
Yeah.
So it's a rebirth. It's a restart. Right?
That's a perfect way to frame it. Rebirth.
Yeah. It's a rebirth, a restart. So your life literally starts from when you show up. You're starting over, right? So everything you knew, all your experiences are gone.
Yeah.
And then you start from scratch. So, and that's where you lean on your character. You lean on your innate experiences, your skills.
Yeah.
Your organizational skills, your discipline.
That discipline that you picked up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's when you because you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have a new life,
Definitely.
and you have a new culture. You have to learn how to speak a certain way. As you can tell, this is not how I used to speak when I was in Cameroon.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've learned how to tune it on and off.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if I'm speaking to people from Cameroon, I don't speak like this. Right. I speak with a whole different accent.
Oh.
So you would learn everything from scratch.
Everything is new.
Everything is new, including the way you operate, the way you live, the way you work, the way you talk, what you eat, how you operate, how you
just your whole being, your whole
everything
lifestyle.
Everything about you has changed.
Everything has changed. And you're saying something so interesting, and it's registering with me because I never thought about that. That's something I never had to face, so I never had to go through an experience like that. Because typically, you're in the United States or you go abroad, and everybody speak English. Or there's a McDonald's, or there's a KFC, or there's something relatable that you can relate to. And so starting everything from zero, starting everything brand new, I'm sure that was, challenging. But what I'm more interested in is who you became through that process.
Sure.
And I'm sure that, that has a lot to do with the man you are today sitting in front of me, the character that you've built along the journey, the intangibles, the characteristics. I'm sure that had a lot to do with that restart in that journey. So very important. And one thing I do want to just kind of key in on is you were in law school in Cameroon. That's where your law, let's say, was birthed.
Sure.
Your law journey was birthed.
Sure.
And so starting that in Cameroon, coming to the United States and continuing your education, like you're coming to a whole new country, different set of rules, different set of laws, education system may be somewhat different, I'm not sure.
It is.
And you were able to continue your journey. So talk a little bit about, your journey to becoming an attorney and going through law school and how all of that, played out for you. I'm sure there had to be, a number of challenges and hurdles that you faced, but ultimately you succeeded And I think that's important to a lot of individuals that's going to be listening to this and watching this.
Well, yeah. So when I came to America, I quickly decided that I needed to figure out what career path I wanted to take. Right. Like I said, I played football and all that, but I knew football in America is not a career that most people take. Because if I would have, say, gone to England, I probably would have played more professionally. Played football more professionally.
Yeah.
But so I focused my energy on education, on law, because, like I said, I started that when I was in Cameroon. 2 semesters of that at the university. Why law? It's really a function of a number of things. One of which is I had a mentor.
Okay.
I had one of my uncles was an attorney.
Okay.
When I was a child, and another one of my uncles was a banker.
Okay.
When I was a child, so I was inspired by their lifestyles. I was inspired by their journey. I was inspired by how they lived.
Yeah.
So for me, I wasn't the sharpest when it came to numbers. I'm a great writer. I'm good with words.
Yeah. Put the words together.
Yes. but I was never strong with the sciences, like the physics and chemistry and all that. So for me, defaulting to law was natural.
It's natural.
So it was even though my undergraduate was in political science and in international relations, and I did some business in a minor in business, but I never really. I always saw myself as somebody who would do well writing and reading, because I did a lot of that when I was a kid, and that came naturally to me. It just made sense for me to go into law, because there's so many careers you could go into as a lawyer. You don't have to literally practice law in the traditional sense if you don't want to. There's a lot of careers that being a lawyer by default qualifies you for. So I thought that would give me the best chance to be as broad as I can be, professionally. So I defaulted to that. Now, there were a number of challenges. One of which was that I didn't grow up in America.
Yeah.
So I didn't have some of the same relationships, and I didn't have.
It's a big challenge.
Yes, it's a huge challenge, right?
Yeah.
So I had to compensate by being as competent as I could be. Because I didn't have the relationships that I could tap into. I didn't have the same professional networks that some of my peers had.
You didn't have those doors already open for you.
Right.
Those paths were not already created.
They were not. Yeah. So the only way I could distinguish myself was to be the best student. Have the best
version of you,
best grades.
Yeah.
So I really, really dedicated myself, and I studied really hard to get the best grades I could get, so I could put myself in the best position, to compete, with peers who had relationships and could otherwise have doors open that I couldn't.
That you couldn't get open. Yeah. That that's so powerful, because we talk a lot about work ethic and putting in the work, but not only putting in the work, but staying consistent. And see, that's what I'm pulling from your journey, is that, you started off, you were in boarding school, you established that discipline, but you stayed consistent. You stayed consistent in your work ethic. You kept working hard. You kept being diligent about the things that, you were seeking. And why that's so important is because a lot of times we'll face a few challenges or hurdles, and it makes you want to give up, but you kept going. You never gave up. You left Cameroon, you came to the United States, you faced some challenges, you faced some hurdles, and you kept going. And so that just speaks a lot to the man that you are. That speaks a lot to your resilience to be able to keep going. And so I just want to speak to whoever may be watching this or whoever may listen to this. Emmanuel's journey is definitely unique, but there are some things you can take away. Discipline, hard work, consistency. When you apply those ingredients, you're going to get the meal that you ultimately is seeking. So applying discipline, consistency, and hard work, it leads to positive outcomes. And so that's something I'm definitely, taking away from what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's 100% true. And I think it's easy. It's easy to give up on your dreams when you face challenges.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give you an example. In 2008, 2009, during the recession, I was laid off.
Okay.
From Sidley Austin, I was laid off, and I was, as most people were at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a really huge setback. It was like my career was over, right? So imagine you're working for top 2, top 3 law firm in the world.
Top firm, yeah.
Yes, and they lay you off. And now you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with myself. You know, so you have to. It's when you face that kind of challenge, you have to dig deep. You have to go into the recesses of your essence. You know, and say, okay, who are you? You know, what? For me, it was a huge setback that made me think about what I want in life.
Yeah.
You know, am I defined by that status as, an attorney, for a top firm, or, can I reinvent myself, right? Can I be something else other than that? Yeah. Right. And that was a real challenge because that was when I transitioned from Chicago to Houston. You know, so most lawyers will tell you that if you go from state to state, you have to take a different bar exam. You gotta, because you need license for a certain state to practice in that state.
Absolutely.
So I'm licensed in Illinois, and now I'm going to Houston, in Texas, where I'm not licensed.
Where you're not licensed.
Right. So now the question is, all right, do I now go sit for another bar exam so I can be licensed in Texas, or do I reinvent myself and be something else to be employed in Texas, right? So I say that to say that that experience taught me one thing, which is that you can never, ever underestimate any aspect of your experience and your journey. Yeah. Right? Because I was able to reinvent myself and become a corporate energy attorney because of a very small piece of what I did as an attorney in Chicago. Wow. So every piece of knowledge, every experience, the smallest part of your experience now could be the major part of your profession tomorrow. Right? Yeah. So I was able to leverage a very small piece of work that I did in Chicago to become an energy attorney, which explains why I do what I do today.
Which explains
why. Right.
Wow.
So from adversity, you tap into your essence and you go, okay, all right, I'm no longer this person that I've been known to be for the last 4 or 5 years. But that doesn't necessarily mean I have to still be that person for the next 4 or 5 years. I can be something else, right? Yeah. So you have to look into your bag and say, okay, what else can I do, right? What else can I become, right? So for me, that experience showed me how to become resilient. I become flexible, right? Because I didn't want to sit through another bar exam, honestly. You know? So I was like, no, I'm not gonna sit through another bar exam. But maybe there's another way that I could still be an attorney and do something else, and hence how I ended up going in-house. So I became a commodities attorney. So I was doing trading, shipping, maritime work, because of a small piece of my of knowledge that I acquired in my past life.
In your past,
right?
Yeah.
So the moral of that story is just to say, don't underestimate any piece of your experience.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate any knowledge that you're acquiring now, because you never know how that's going to be useful,
in your journey later.
In your journey later.
Yeah. That's so important, because just when I'm listening to you, I mean, you're literally talking about one of the worst financial crises in history, 2008, 2009.
Right.
You're talking about mass layoffs took place.
Yep.
And you're just speaking to the growth mindset that you had at that time to dig deep inside of yourself to say, you know what? Should I keep going? Should I give up?
Right.
And how should I keep going?
Right.
What does that look like?
Right.
So looking back at that growth mindset, how were you able to just kind of really, overcome that in terms of saying, okay, I'm going to reinvent myself, but where I'm going to reinvent myself, how I'm going to do that? Like, just speak a little bit to that part of how you were able to overcome what's going on around you in a world of chaos, I would say, and then just be able to say, you know what, Texas, here I come.
It was a lot of trial, and it was a lot of rejection, and there was a lot of failure, right? So I'm not suggesting that it was a seamless transition, because it wasn't. But the underlying message, or the underlying point, is that you're resilient. You keep trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I knocked on a lot of doors.
Yeah.
I got a lot of rejections, because, again, remember, that was a tough time. There are layoffs happening, and so most employers are not employing.
Yeah.
Right. So you're sending out. I used to stack all the rejection letters that I received. Right. And for me, that was inspiring. For most people, that would be like, oh my God, failure.
Yeah.
But to me, like, putting them together and just because this is before the internet and all the a lot of communication back then was paper.
Yeah.
Right.
It's different.
So I actually used to get rejection letters. This is before you used to send resumes and whatever by email.
Yeah.
So you'd actually physically send your resume out to to firms, and they would send you a letter back saying, no, thank you, appreciate your interest, but no, we're not hiring at this point.
We're not hiring.
So I used to stack those, and I used to actually look at those every day. And maybe this is the way my mind works, but it used to inspire me to do more.
Okay.
Because I used to feel like I'm not doing enough, to get back to where I was, or to get back to some kind of semblance of a professional life, right? So I would look at those every day, and I would say, okay, if I get 5 rejections, it means I didn't send out enough requests, because my rejections are not thick enough.
Yeah, you don't have enough.
I don't have enough rejections.
Wow.
It's a mindset. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
It is a mindset. Because, again, maybe
that's a very powerful mindset.
Yes, maybe that's a function of how I was raised.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a function of the discipline I spoke to earlier. But I used to use rejection letters as a measure of my effort.
That's big.
Yeah. So if I didn't get enough rejections, it means I wasn't trying enough.
You weren't trying hard enough.
I wasn't trying hard
because I hadn't got rejected
Yes.
enough. But the thing I'm taking away from that is you weren't afraid of rejection.
No.
Most people are afraid of no. Or most people, when you tell them no, it stopped them.
Yeah.
But you kept going.
Yeah, I've never been afraid of rejection because I've always thought of my life as an adventure.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it's never going to be. You're never going to be accepted by all in every circumstance.
Yeah.
So I've always been comfortable with the fact that, okay, I just have to do my best.
Yeah.
I just have to do the best I can do, and
Absolutely.
I will eventually get an acceptance.
Wow.
You know, rejections will come. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself an acquired taste. You know, and until today, I've never really concerned myself with what people think.
Yeah.
I've always concerned myself with my product and my ability.
Yeah.
And that goes for in a lot of aspects of my life, you know. The way I dress, the way I talk, the way you're going to get rejection.
Yeah.
Right? But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a function of if you're not getting rejected,
Yeah.
you're not trying.
You're not trying hard enough. Yeah, if you're not getting rejected. I like that.
If you're not getting rejected, you're not trying enough. You're not trying hard enough. If you keep trying, you will be rejected, but eventually you'll get an acceptance because somebody will see through
Yeah.
the rejections and see your effort and see your value. You know. So I've always been of that mindset. You know, I've had plenty of rejection. I've had even Aramco, even coming here.
Yeah.
I was supposed to come to Saudi Aramco in 2014.
Wow.
So I went through the interview process. Literally all the way to the end, where there was already an offer letter on the table. But Aramco decided to go with a different candidate who had more shipping experience than I did.
A different candidate at that time.
At the time, right? And I was like, well, that's one more rejection. Put it on the pile.
Rejection.
And lo and behold, 4 years later, same Aramco reached out to me again and said, hey, we have another opportunity. Are you ready? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. Point is, don't let rejections stop your flow, because truth of the matter is, if it's the right opportunity and if it's the right fit, it will work.
It'll work. This is so powerful because that's my takeaway. That's my takeaway. And similarly, I'm not a person who concern myself with what others think, just like what you mentioned.
Right.
But I like the way you said that. If you're not getting rejected, you're not trying hard enough. And so not only should that be my takeaway, but I'm encouraging you all to allow that to be your takeaway. If you're not getting rejected, are you really trying? Are you trying hard enough? Are you trying enough times? Are you trying and just giving up? Are you worried about what the next person thinks? Your colleagues, your family, your friends, whoever. So let's talk a little bit about how this thing has came full circle. I mean, we talked about growing up in Cameroon, transitioning into the U.S., into Alabama, then continuing your education in Kentucky, getting with the large law firm in Chicago, then being laid off in one of the worst financial crises, and going from there to just kind of reinvent yourself to become a corporate energy attorney, and coming down to Houston, Texas, and then coming all the way across the world to the world's largest energy company, Saudi Aramco, which is where we met. Just talk a little bit about how was that journey when you got the call, because you did a perfect segue into it, but when you got the call for the second opportunity, which was the acceptance to come to Saudi Aramco, how were you able to just kind of put to the side, this is what happened in the past, I'm going to keep pushing through, and I'm going to go ahead and see this opportunity for what it is, and if it's for me, I'm going to do it, I'm ready.
I think thanks. I think the key was just being open-minded, right?
Yeah.
And being being open to the opportunity, because as you know, because you've been here longer and you came from a similar background in terms of moving here from the U.S. When you tell people, or when you even mention the fact that there's an opportunity to go to Saudi Arabia to work, it's not always met with positive, reactions, right?
It's not.
Right. So for me, the focus was just the career opportunity, the professional opportunity. Because I saw it as an opportunity to grow as an attorney. I saw it as an opportunity to have a new experience. I saw it as an opportunity to try a new culture. I saw it as an opportunity to see the world. Right. To broaden my horizon, if you may. So I wanted to take on the challenge, because most people said they wouldn't. Right. So for me, it was like, there must be something there.
Got to be something.
Right. So I was like, okay, and it definitely helps when it's an Aramco, when it's one of the largest companies in the world, and one of the most profitable companies in the world. So one of the most diverse companies in the world, with presence everywhere, in all continents.
Worldwide.
So for me, it felt like a great challenge. It felt like a good opportunity to do something unique, because not everybody gets such opportunities. To go overseas around. It was my first job overseas, even though technically I'm from Cameroon and I live in America, but I had never taken a job outside of the U.S.
Outside of the United States.
So for me, this was a great opportunity to say, okay, what is out there? How can I be better? How can I improve myself? How can I improve my career? How can I grow professionally? And this was, I say that to say, if you're open to entertaining non-traditional opportunities,
definitely non-traditional.
Yes, there are opportunity. There is a lot of benefit to be gained from that. Because most people want to stay comfortable, right? Stay where they are.
Comfort zone. Stay in that comfort zone.
Around your families, around your friends. But if you get an opportunity to try something different, something new, that really shakes your essence. That really pulls you away from what you're comfortable with. There could be a lot of benefit.
Wow. Man, we can talk forever. I've got to ask you this, because there's so much more to your story, to your journey.
Thank you.
To unpack. And, I definitely want to, have you back whenever you're free, whenever you have some time. I definitely want to have you back, because there's a lot more to the journey. But I definitely don't want this to be too long. So I want to close this out a bit, but I want to close this out by allowing you to, just leave us with, what are some of those life gems? You've had your unique journey, you've had your experience, now being here in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East. What advice would you give to others, that really would allow them to dig deep inside of themselves in some of the most challenging, most difficult times that they may be facing? What advice would you give that young man? What advice would you give that young lady about resilience, perseverance, consistency, being able to overcome, and also, having already attained a level of success? You've been there on both sides. What advice would you leave the Frugal Millionaires family with?
Oof, that's a broad question, but I would say the one advice that I would provide, is that you have to trust yourself.
I like that.
You have to trust your instincts. You have to trust your gut, because you are enough. You have enough in you. You are built properly.
Yeah.
To meet your challenges, but you have to find that in you. You know, a lot of people look for external solutions.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to get too philosophical, but if you trust yourself, you dig within, you will find out that you are enough. You have the tools.
Yeah.
To succeed. You just have to dig. You just have to find them within yourself. And it's cliche to say, you know, it's cliche to say that you know that you should trust yourself, because people say that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but I think if you do a lot of introspection, you look into your life and look into yourself, and really believe in your own abilities.
Yeah.
You will find success in anything you're doing.
Man, wow, that's so powerful. And you know, I just want to say thank you again for giving me the opportunity to learn from you. I mean, I learned so much in just this, you know, sit down and this brief time. I've learned so much from your journey. And not only have I learned, it's so inspiring.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate you for sharing that, not only with me, but sharing that with the Frugal Millionaires family. And while we're wrapping this up, I just want to hit on 2 points before we close this out that you mentioned, and I think it's so important. While it may be underestimated, I think it's so important. But you talked about having a mentor. So the importance of mentorship, the importance of guidance, I think that's so important nowadays in life, that you have someone who can mentor you, you have someone who can guide you, you have someone who can pull you when you're in those difficult situations. Like you said, you're going to trust yourself, you're going to trust your process, but sometimes you may doubt yourself, you may doubt your process. And so having a mentor, having a bigger brother, and you know, you've been a bigger brother to me since we met, and just your mindset and just the way you move, just the way you operate, not only in this sit down, but I'm learning so much from you all the time, because I'm listening to what you say, I'm taking away what you say, but also I see that in your actions. And so, man, I love you. I appreciate it.
Love you too, brother.
And you got to come back. We got to do part 2.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Thanks for the opportunity. You know, hopefully, while my story is different and it may be unique to some, but it's very common.
Yeah.
In the sense that, you know, I'm not. A lot of people have come from Africa, you know, to America, and I've experienced tremendous success. And have taken advantage of the opportunities that are available. So I'm happy to come back and speak to you and speak with you, you know, as often as you would want me to. And hopefully my journey, you know, humble and unique as it may be, hopefully is an inspiration to somebody, and saying, you know, hey, you know, I can identify myself in him, and that propels them to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can definitely tell you it's been inspiring for me. I'm sure it's going to be inspiring for you all. Thank you again, Brother Emmanuel, for coming and sitting down with me. And you all heard it, Frugal Millionaires family. He will be back for part 2. So we're going to be on the lookout for that soon. So until the next one, we'll see you all. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.